Good morning. We're at the main academy this morning, and we have some questions from some of our potential enrollees about financial aid and which program would actually be best for them. So we are going to answer questions and help everybody try to figure out which way is the best way to go for them. Some of the main things that you need to consider are how many hours do I work? If you're a person that has to work and go to school, you've really got to consider that. And another one, how many hours can I commit to school? Besides work, if you have kids that have to be picked up from school, then you've got to figure out realistically how many hours a week are you going to be able to clock in. And then another one, do I have childcare? A lot of people do have childcare during the day, but night classes could be an issue. And so that's something else to consider. And then another question I have is, do I have reliable transportation? If you sign up to be full-time and something happens and you're having to rely on someone else to get you here, then that could push you into the part-time hours where you signed up for the full-time hours. And so all of those things matter when it comes to signing up for financial aid. Financial aid is a situation where they kind of govern the amount of money that they send towards your education based upon how many hours you actually spend at school. So if you do sign up for the full-time and you're only able to make it for the part-time, then a lot of times you'll wind up with some overage charges to make up the difference. So I know some of you guys had some questions that you wanted to ask as well, and so if anybody...
Yes, who pays the difference if your attendance drops?
Okay, her question is, who pays the difference if your attendance drops? You pay the difference. Whatever the government is going to allot you is going to be in accordance to your attendance. So if you have 90% attendance one month, then your payout on that would be the full-time payout. However, if your hours drop, and let's say you have a struggle with getting here, then you're going to have a difference. They're going to pay the 30% or the 40% attendance that you accrue instead of that 90 to 100% attendance. So that balance will actually be tacked on to your tuition in addition to the federal assistance you're able to get. Yes?
Can a school lose its accreditation and then you not be able to receive financial aid anymore?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yes, a school can lose accreditation, and some do. And the way that works is if you sign up and you're eligible for the Fafsa and they lose their accreditation, then once you're to the end of your program, then you would be required to do a student loan, which is totally separate from a grant. So you would be paying back that full portion instead of having partial grant money allotted that you did not have to pay back.
And can you still get student aid going part-time?
Yes, you can still get the student aid going part-time. So you do not have to feel like, you've got to sign up for the full-time in order to get the help. You can still get the student aid. It's just that your allowance is going to be spread out in increments that take possibly 2 years versus the 1 year.
So the school just doesn't get as much money as fast when you're part-time as they do full-time?
Basically, yes. So each student pays the same amount for tuition. If you sign up for full-time and your total allotted by the financial aid is they're going to pay $17,000, then the school's going to get $17,000 in a year time span broke up into those increments, whether that be 2 payments or 3 payments every so many, 8 weeks or 12 weeks, however they break it up. But the part-time student is also going to still be given the $17,000. Theirs will just be spread out. And so their increments may be 4 or 6 versus this person, but they're still going to reach that $17,000 that goes to the school. It's just going to take the school longer to collect that. Yes?
Now, who pays the difference in the money that it's like my tuition price, and then the money that, say, the government will give me for financial aid, because it doesn't cover the whole thing. So then, who pays the difference?
Okay, that's a good question too. So the way that works is, typically if, let's say you're going to a school and, you know, their tuition is $25,000. And you get allotted this amount down here, and financial aid is gonna cover $17,000 of that for you. So then you're gonna have $8,000 left, right? Is that right? Is that right? Okay. This part right here is gonna have to be a student loan. You're gonna pay the difference in that. If the school charges you in addition to what the financial aid office will award you. We are actually in the middle of the accreditation process, and so our plan actually is to, when girls come in and they apply for the financial aid, whatever financial aid will allot them is our price for tuition. In other words, our price for tuition for the year program at $1,500 is $12,000. So if the government is going to give them financial aid assistance of, let's just give it a guess at $9,000, that's their tuition. So because they qualified for assistance, and the way to do that is meet criteria where you need help, what we're willing to do is have a zero balance at the end once the course has been finished and the boards have been passed. So that helps out a lot. Then you don't have to worry about this difference. But yes, that was a really good question. So financial aid is going to require that you be here 100% of the time in order to get these payments. And also, that's not going to finish it off. So you're going to be required to have a student loan, which is not one that is a grant that you don't pay back. It is one that you do pay back. So even when you finish and you've been awarded this and the school's gotten this, you're still going to have a loan that you need to pay back once you graduate. And always remember, that's going to be in addition to where you decide to work. Even if you do commission somewhere and, you know, say it's 60-40, you're going to have this payment. If you do booth rent and it's $150 a week, you're going to have $150 a week plus whatever you've got to pay on the student loan to get that cleared. So, and what we do have, though, to help you guys out is, in our next segment, we're going to talk about some of our scholarship offers that we have and that are good. They're comparable to being able to get the financial aid, but they work out better being able to pick your part-time or your full-time hours and not be stuck with this balance at the end. So if you guys want to check out that segment next.